actually be doing their thing. Are we actually live?
Yeah.
Are we live? I think we're live, right?
Yeah, so stop streaming if you want to do that.
That's amazing. This is our first time streaming off of OBS on the computer. You know what I mean?
Is it?
No, it's not on
YouTube.
YouTube.
You said that. No,
YouTube.
It's on the computer.
So, hello everyone. Welcome to Dragon Coffee. If it's actually streaming, I gotta check it out. Oh, it is. You know what? You gotta take it where you can. Booyah. It just didn't show it off the live stream page, which is weird.
Our sound is not on though.
Is it not?
No.
It is. It's on there.
I don't think that's our sound. Is it not the one in the middle?
Output. That's the output. Which means that's where that music would be coming from. I just have it's not really playing. It's just for it to casually pick it up and stuff.
I'm also casually picking it up and stuff.
Welcome back to Dragon Coffee. This is a podcast where both me and Prince, we talk about, this mic is right here. We talk about Dungeons and Dragons, wow. And typically we have coffee in our hand and we're sipping on coffee and drinking it. And
but I can't drink coffee.
inviting you guys. Oh, you already ruined it. You ruined the illusion that it's Dragon Coffee by just omitting the fact that you can't drink coffee.
Yeah. They have to know. You can't lie to the viewers.
We weren't going to lie to them, but you ruined the illusion. You just don't mention it at all. Well.
Oh, so I just go like this every time? Ah, yes.
You could drink something else that's not coffee.
Yeah.
But I'm not, let's not get into statistics.
Exactly.
He can't drink coffee anymore. Surprise, this is still called Dragon Coffee.
Exactly.
I'll probably end up drinking coffee.
There you go.
Maybe not.
Somebody will.
I don't know.
If we're not drinking coffee, you guys can go
Well,
and sip.
we'll probably.
sip
How
some
about
coffee.
this? How about this? We encourage you to drink some coffee if you
Exactly.
can, and we'll put some random fluids in our cups and drink it.
Don't say that sentence ever again in my presence.
What fluids are you think I'm referring to, sir?
I don't know. That's a thing.
Oh, it is? No. Well, all I was referring to is we'll just talk about what we're drinking and then kind of get into what we're doing.
Hentai.
Most of the time, water. We sound like really cool people.
Yeah.
All right, we're here to talk about Dungeons and Dragons and our thoughts and opinions on stuff and general gaming news. Because fuck it, we like talking anyway. So might as well do it. Where's the camera rolling?
Fucking whatever. As the old days
Today,
used to say.
Today is a special day.
Today.
Well, it was technically yesterday, which it was a special day since
Oh,
it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
To yesterday.
But today's a special day. You know why?
No.
If you clicked on the thumbnail, you know why.
Why would they click on the thumbnail?
Because Sora's in Smash Brothers.
What the fuck? Why would they do
Sora,
that?
Kingdom Hearts, Sora's in Smash Brothers.
Sora, Darkness, Heartless, Riku,
Riku,
Kairi, Riku,
Darkness, and they used the kindling flame to represent like the last light, like the last. There's always a light.
The last shred of hope.
Literally, I think the reference is there's always the last light in the darkness. There's always one light in the darkness, and Mario grabbed that last light and threw it at the person that was going to bring the light to everyone, which was Sora.
Look, it's Peter Pan boy, Sora.
You know what? This is a hot take. Because in my opinion, they could have done the announcement for Sora in so many ways, right? They could have done it in a lot of different ways.
Oh yeah.
They could have done it in a lot of cool different ways, and we were talking about it. Yeah, it could have been a lot cooler, but after looking at the trailer a few times, it represented what it needed to represent, which is Sora being lighthearted and representing the kid-like thing inside of us, or like that childhood little butterflies you get, like the little Disney feeling that you get in your stomach when you watch Disney movies or something like that. I know because I grew up as a Disney kid.
He has a dark twist on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his world is literally filled with people that are constantly dying. And
I know, but the thing is, he's the light in that darkness.
Is he really, though?
Riku Darkness Sora Light.
Okay, because since we're discussing
Oh
this,
my
right?
gosh, come on.
No, you already started this, so it's your
Did
fault.
I?
Yeah, it's your fault.
Okay.
So technically, right?
Oh, it's just
Kingdom Hearts gets filled up whenever Sora kills a Heartless.
Right.
So that means he's also always helping Organization 13 because that's their goal. He's been doing that since day one, and he still does it, even in number 3.
Not on purpose.
No, he does do it on purpose. He looks at the Heartless and he says, "Freeze!
Freeze in the name of the law!
Freeze! Thunder! Thunder! Freeze! Fire!
So,
Fire God!"
if you can't tell, our D&D content today is going to be revolving around, what do you know? Kingdom Hearts and Sora.
Holy
So, between different builds of different builds, not just Disney characters in general, but builds regarding around the Disney Heart Disney Hearts is pretty much Disney Hearts.
Yeah,
Kingdom Hearts characters or Disney characters that are in Kingdom Hearts. Not the actual Disney characters, because in all my opinion, after like the series is completely different. They represent the characters different in my opinion, because King Mickey is kind of a badass, and Mickey Mouse is just a lucky bastard. Mickey Mouse, if you look at the Mickey Mouse cartoons, he's just lucky. He should have the lucky feet if we were actually creating a Mickey Mouse character in D&D.
I was never really a Mickey person.
I grew up with Disney.
Yeah.
So even if I didn't like it as a kid, right, I would know it. But I did. So I grew up with it because I had two female cousins that I grew up with, which I pretty much call my sisters because they're pretty much my sisters. But I grew up with them, so they were surrounded by Disney, so I in return was surrounded by Disney.
Makes sense.
And that's just how that is. Like
Acne boy.
even if that
Acne
wasn't the
boy.
case, here I am. We'll be looking at custom content on D&D Beyond revolving around like custom classes, monsters, all that kind of stuff when it comes to Sora and Heartless and Kingdom Hearts. But that doesn't mean
Riku,
like
Sora, Mickey,
that
Donald, Riku.
we're just having some fun revolving around the Sora content today regarding Dungeon Coffee. That was another alternative name. If Dragon Coffee doesn't work out, we're going to turn into Dungeon Coffee. Which one sounds better, Dungeon Coffee or Dragon Coffee?
Well, dungeon, you're specifying, well, okay, this is Dungeons and Dragons. Dragons, you're just like, that could be more ambiguous, maybe?
And that could reach a wider audience.
I never know. We don't have the experimentation to do.
Well, this is why we're bringing it back and just doing it this way. So, for the people, before we start to get into stuff, this is around the area where we will be doing sponsored content. So if you are looking to sponsor, or if you want to be a part of the Dragon Coffee team, maybe for an episode or something, we can sponsor your content around this section of the podcast, and we can go from there, whether it's artists, whether it's some Kickstarter, or if you're a company just looking to get your name out there, we can sponsor you on this part of the podcast when or if you want to sponsor our stuff. So just email an inquiry to us at our YouTube page where we are live streaming right now, and we will go from there. So, also, before we start, we're clearly live streaming on YouTube today instead of Twitch because of I feel like Dragon Coffee is more of a YouTube live stream thing for us. That we'll first live stream here on YouTube, and then maybe and then maybe live stream later on Twitch. I have not have a concrete decision on that yet. Also, this is a great place for us to talk about like the common stuff with actually having a name to stuff, and creating a concrete brand for ourselves, bro. The Dragon Coffee team.
Dragon Coffee up in the bed.
Dragon Coffee team. So, without further ado, let's just see if we can find some stuff. It's not a guarantee that we're going to find stuff here, but we're going to look, you know?
Yeah, Sora, Darkness,
So,
Heartless,
the
Riku,
first thing I
Sora.
found was someone attempted to make a Heartless Monster.
And gave up on it, but still
They
tried.
definitely gave up. Oh, I'm not looking at this. They gave up super hard.
They gave up heavily.
That's a very heavy
This is
give
a
up.
basic Heartless, too.
You know what? the easiest way to look at stuff is looking at views. Sorting by views and seeing where we're at. Because we could always look at the bad shit. But we're not here to do that. Shadow Heartless. Okay. Small Fiend Demon. Chaotic Evil. They gave them an armor class of 12, hit points of 14, speed of 30 feet, strength. I guess that kind of tracks. Con tracks the negative con, negative intelligence. Dexterity, I guess that tracks too. Stealth makes sense. You can give them the proficiency in stealth. So immunity to necrotic damage is pretty accurate. But that's shadows in general, right? I think all shadows kind of have the... Or am I wrong about that?
I don't remember what the actual
look
shadow.
I actually look at the shadow stat block because we don't use shadows up. Oh, you're gonna be. Oh,
it's literally the same
Would this
thing.
be a spoiler for tomorrow if I look at the shadow stat block? Are you using those? Are you?
I mean, I'm probably gonna use them.
Damn it! I just want to look at the immunity. That's it. Oh, they don't have immunity. They have immunity to necrotic and poison apparently, and vulnerability to radiant. But radiant makes sense because they are literal shadows.
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
Heartless Sora Rico Darkness.
they have a shadow stealth, which is while in dim light or darkness. The shadow can take the hide action as a bonus action. Pack tactics, which, if you guys don't know what pack tactics, a lot of smaller D&D monsters, most notably kobolds, have this thing where they are able to get advantage if they are like near their ally or something like that. Just literally being near their ally gives them the ability to have advantage. It's in the racial trait for kobolds as well, which is one of the few things, or the couple things that make kobolds okay.
And I love the user Sora 0805.
I mean, like, they're not being subtle with that. Born of darkness. Magical darkness doesn't impede the shadow's dark vision.
As it shouldn't.
Blind sight of 30 feet. Dark vision of 120 feet. And a passive perception of 11. So they made it a CR 1/4. It's literally to the point. It's just a shadow.
Heartless is supposed to be just fodder.
Mm-hmm. But they have created some people have decided to make Heartless Noble just like an actual Heartless Noble. Like,
Yeah.
I hate you and I'm heartless.
Yeah, most
They
likely.
spit on the ground because they have a highborn command. We don't need to look at Heartless anymore, right? Let's see if they have a Sora monster.
I mean, Sora is a monster. Like,
Sora.
let's be honest.
Sora Qatar. That's not his last name.
He has a last name.
I was going to say, he doesn't have a last name, right?
Mhm.
I was literally about to ask you that question. So it doesn't have a last name, right? Well, I can't think of any homebrew monsters that would be okay as far as that goes. Now, magic items, I want to see if they have a good Keyblade.
Keyblade.
A Keyblade.
Keyblade. Keyblade.
And we are doing all this research on D&D Beyond itself and their homebrew
Dwarven
section.
Keyblade.
Dwarven Keyblade. Darkness. Sora Heartless. The light.
The light Sora.
So it's we're gonna make Sora a dwarf,
I mean, he could be. He could be whatever he wants to be.
right? He literally can morph. Oh, he's a changeling.
I mean, he changes all the time.
We've never really seen his mother.
No.
He could be just born of light and darkness.
Darkness like this, Rico Sora. Plus, every time he goes to a new world, his clothes just magically change.
Exactly. He could be a
He
changeling.
could be a changeling.
We could all be changelings.
Ooh, big brain, 5 head.
Weapon, long sword. Requires attunement by a strong heart overflowing with darkness.
Oh, that's Rico's.
Yeah, the darkness keyboard. 1d8 bludgeoning light finesse versatile weapon.
Okay, that's wrong so far.
Bludgeoning.
His, because Riku's Keyblade is a scythe, is a sword. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
it's an actual sword that does slicing. thing.
Unbreakable. This weapon cannot be broken if can only be broken if the wielder is dead or has its heart removed or sealed away.
Because that could happen in the game.
Eternal. This weapon can be regenerated after being broken if its wielder becomes capable of wielding it again. Eternal weapon.
Very eternal.
Inheritance. While this weapon is created by the heart of its wielder, it can be given to a new wielder if its current one becomes unable to wield it.
That's not how that works.
Did you create the Keyblade of Darkness? I think not.
Oh, okay.
Can we let Liberacor?
Yes.
Can we give him the spotlight for a second here?
Yes. I'm sorry.
The Keyblade is a magic weapon. Any creature attuned to the Keyblade is considered proficient with it.
That's not how it works.
How do you do it? Right, hey man, that's a property he made for this thing.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. But that's not.
Leave him alone.
I'm just pointing it out.
A magic weapon at 10th level. This weapon grants +1 to attack and damage rolls.
10 level, bro. You're not even gonna make it by far. Doing bludgeoning damage with this thing.
Bludgeoning damage. And damage rolls made with it at 15th level. This weapon gets a +2.
Ooh.
And at 20th, it gets the +3.
Nice. You gotta wait that long. Huh? I could pick up a random +3 weapon just on the floor.
That'd be more proficient than the Keyblade. The magic of this weapon is unaffected by spells, and its magic cannot be removed. I guess that would make sense. Call. This weapon can be transported into its wielder's hand as a free action at any time. This weapon may not be stolen except by someone capable of wielding a Keyblade.
That's not how that works either.
A Keyblade wielder can spend one action to regain control of their own Keyblade by succeeding a charisma check against the current owner. This
So do they lick the blade? Like they have to lick the blade up and down?
That's right.
Is that the spot?
This weapon can be dismissed to a pocket dimension as a free action.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's the first true thing.
Attunement. The attunement of this weapon is dependent solely on the wielder's heart and cannot be affected by magic or being in another plane of existence. Form.
A strong heart overflowing with darkness.
Yeah, straight up. The wielder of this weapon can create keychains when they have a strong personal bond with the wielder of a magic item. You mean every one of your party members?
Huh?
Every one of your party members are gonna have magic weapons at this point. Hey guys, look at my Keyblade. That's. Oh wait, we're level 15. You guys have all the cool items, but my Keyblade does plus
And
plus two.
I have to attune to it, so it takes
Plus
up an
two,
attunement
guys.
slot.
Watch this.
I'm a Hexblade warlock. I can do that all the time. Look at me. Look at me do that. You see me rapidly changing. Yeah. I could even morph another sword.
But I'm a fighter,
into
so I can just do accent surge, bludgeoning damage, bludgeoning damage, bludgeoning damage, bludgeoning damage.
I don't appreciate that.
I mean, like, it didn't actually hurt you.
I know that. But I do not appreciate it nonetheless.
Okay, so that's a thing, I guess. This keychain, when attached, will change the form of the Keyblade and grant it special properties of that magic item. You may only attach one keychain per Keyblade and may only change the keychain once per long rest. Key. This weapon can cast Arcane Lock at will. Okay, that's actually pretty cool.
It's an artifact, so I mean, yeah.
You may also spend a spell slot to seal any door, lock, or chest.
I guess I gotta play Eldritch Knight.
Any spell created by Keyblade can only be broken by another Keyblade. Wow. Hey man, you gotta give them an A for effort.
Yeah, but no PCs can use this though. This is actually meant for my BBG.
Yeah, that could be a thing. Where they're just like,
Yeah, that
why
could
did they
be.
get -3? We got a -3 Keyblade here, guys.
Damn, bro.
Requires attunement by a Sora only.
By a Sora. only Sora can do it.
Only Sora can wield this Keyblade. Your
So you have
PC
to-
must be a person named Sora.
Eh.
What if it's literally the darkest man possible? Like, someone literally spent from hell, from Asmodeus, a Yanti whose name happens to be Sora.
Sora. I mean, he's not wrong. You can do it then.
I'm required by a Sora. He is a Sora.
He is a Sora.
So,
Yo, Zora. Wait,
long
what?
before the events of the Dark Seeker Sage saga in the age of fairy tales, when the world was whole, Kingdom Hearts gave light to the world. However, it remains out of mankind's reach as it was protected by its counterpart, the X-Blade.
Ooh.
According to legend, when he came to desire the light, and their greed and jealousy introduced darkness into the world. In order to conquer the light of Kingdom Hearts, people forged the first Keyblades in the image of the X-Blade, and they clashed with each other in a great Keyblade war that involved those who served the light,
Crazy.
those who served the darkness, and those who sought balance, and those who simply sought power.
Such good writing.
In truth, however, the first known
Yes.
Keyblades
Yes.
were created by the Master of Masters, who was capable of extracting them from the hearts of people using his knowledge of the X-Blade, rather than forging them.
Oh my
The
god.
conflict embroiled even those who did not desire Kingdom Hearts, and took the lives of thousands. It also extinguished the light from the world and trapped Kingdom Hearts in the deepest darkest, while the X-Blade shattered 20 pieces, 7 lights and 13 darknesses. The final sight of the Keyblade War became... What in the fuck?
It's just literally a wiki.
just-
It's a wiki site.
It's literally a wiki.
So what the actual weapon is a longbow. It's a you add your proficiency to it.
He literally got that from the Kingdom Hearts wiki.
and he didn't even delete that part or anything else. He just did it.
Bro.
Yeah, he just that's what he did.
What the fuck? Oh, July 2nd. Okay.
Oh, arigato.
Arigato. I sent that a couple days ago. What caused it? Okay, so it's literally just a longsword you got your proficiency bonus with. Wow.
Wee.
Keyblade. Wow.
Keyblade.
No wonder it's -3. You did
Yes.
nothing there.
You literally just copied a wiki page.
Is that wrong?
Is that wrong, bro?
Is that wrong for me to do? What's wrong with that?
Keyblade Darkness. Let's go.
Keyblade Darkness. Let's fucking go.
Keyblade Darkness, I think, is very powerful.
Ooh, there's a -3 Keyblade. Let's keep going down, boys. I think
It's
it
probably
might-
the same one.
It's probably the same one. I thought
Yeah,
it was -2.
yeah, it's the same one.
Fuck. I thought it was -2. I probably accidentally negatived it. Not on purpose. And
Dwarven Keyblade. It's a key.
well,
Blade.
it's literally a key blade. He's just like, what the fuck? I literally made a key blade. What the fuck are you doing with it, huh?
Now, what are you doing with your life, huh? Huh?
You're fucking around?
You're pissing off? Of course. Makes sense.
Let's see if there's a background for
Sora.
Keyblade. So I just put key in.
Yep, nothing.
A lackey.
Lucky.
That's a good one.
That's a funny joke, man. That's a real funny joke right there.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not too shocked by that, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Thunder, fire, and that's not. I mean, those aren't like original spells. It's Final Fantasy.
No.
It's all over the fucking place.
No, sir. Sir, it's original.
Well, let's go for the subclasses, bro. Key. Key
Jock
of
key.
War. Key. Oh, here it is. Keyblade Wielder.
Ooh, Keyblade Wielder,
fighter.
Keyblade Wielder.
Let's see how good someone made this.
What's
Wow.
the Keyblade Wielder?
So, Weapon of Heart. You have either been given some training or learned on the road.
On the road? What do you mean? The road warriors with Keyblades. Hey, hey,
Take
you want to
this.
learn? You want to learn how to wield a Keyblade?
Only a Keyblade can break a Keyblade, and I broke your Keyblade.
guess you know everything there is to know. You're the master now.
I follow you.
Where are we going, master?
When you take this archetype at 3rd level, you gain a magical Keyblade of Light. If you are good, or lawful, or a Keyblade of Darkness, if you are chaotic or evil. So a Keyblade of Light of good or lawful, evil, or chaotic for darkness. So what if you're chaotic good? Can I get both?
You just don't get one.
Ha!
No.
What did I do wrong?
Man,
I took the subclass.
What dickness.
I took the subclass, DM. Come on.
Oh yeah, but you're kind of an asshole.
I'm
And
chaotic
You're not
good.
enough of an asshole.
So can I get a special one?
No.
Oh well.
Yeah, you just don't get one. Is there a problem with that? You took the subclass. Yeah, you took the subclass, knowing what you are.
Yeah, but like, I
It's
thought
already-
you'd give me something cool.
No.
But well, looking at this, they
No.
literally did all of the little special
The arts you have.
special arts that you can choose from. That
Jesus.
they actually went in. It looks pretty good. So they got the forms, wisdom, valor, master,
Jesus.
final. They actually did a pretty good job
Yeah,
from what
no.
I'm seeing. So, good job.
Yes. Yes, Kermit.
One of the few things that are good that I've seen on D&D Beyond
Yes,
recently.
Yes, Kermit. Yes, Kermit. Whoa. What's going on with that one? Like, it sounded like a glitch. What? A glitch in the Matrix, bro.
Yes, Kermit. Yes. So, recent news from D&D Beyond.
It is nothing.
There's never any good news.
I don't think there is any news.
But there could be. That's why I always look.
Oh.
See if there's any new things from D&D. Never besides all the time. Oh, so
evolution.
so here comes sage advice.
Creature.
Something that I want to start doing is looking at the Dungeons and Dragons articles, kind of looking at them, reviewing them, and just talking about what the fuck they're talking about and having conversations about that.
So pretty much, yeah.
Recent article from D&D Beyond
Huh?
called Sage for Creature Evolutions. Jeremy Crawford recently put this article out. The most recent D&D book, The Wild Beyond Witchlight, features 2 new playable races and a gaggle of Feywild monsters and NPCs. In this installment of Sage Advice, I talk about some of the rules evolving, rule evolutions present in those new options. I'll start with stat blocks, and then visit the new races. Stat block refinements over the past year or so, we've been refining the D&D stat blocks to make it easier to use and improve how DM-controlled creatures function and play. The following section describes the main changes we've made. You can find those changes in Wild Beyond the Witchlight, as well as pretty much the new ones coming out. Okay, I want to know what the fuck they're talking about. Are they talking about just new actions in general?
Well, it looks like typically lawful good.
So basically being like, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Adding that option. Creature type. Creature types are now always capitalized. We've made this change so that it's easier to tell in our rules when we're talking about a monster of a certain type. A giant, for example. Rather than using a word in its normal sense, she was a giant in the bard community. We've also gotten strict about which monsters get the humanoid creature type. This type is now reserved for creatures who are humanoid-like in their moral and cultural range. Oh, here we go. As we update our older books, we'll reassign some humanoids to other creature types. When Monsters of the Multiverse is released, you'll see former humanoids are now monstrosities, fays, and other types. So, essentially, what if you guys are unaware of like some of the big things and changes since this whole Viva la Revolution of PC culture has kind of hit the Dungeons and Dragons community, Dungeons and Dragons in itself is kind of Wizards of the Coast feel like it's time to rewrite a lot of the stuff, which I can see why they're rewriting, like Drow history, some orc lore. I can see why they're doing it, right? personally, as Caleb, this is a personal take. You can have your opinions, and that will be your take, right? I don't think it's necessary to change drows or dark elves because of how they kind of were represented already and like such main culture as far as like the D&D books go.
I mean, I just don't see any point in changing the past. You can't change the past.
You can change the
what
future.
What has happened. And it's like, okay, sage advice. It's like, okay, well, we're correcting stuff that people just didn't understand because because of how it's written and how it was interpreted.
Exactly.
That's fine. You could do that. That's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
But don't go rewriting an entire lore because, like, that's just like
you've already established it.
And it's number one. It's number two. Like the thing of the DMG and the player's handbook. Those are all guidelines. So they're not. They're handholds, okay? They just hold your hand and like, okay, well, if we're playing in a 100% zero homebrew setting, you know what to expect because you should have read the books.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's how it's
if
always
not,
been.
it's just like, okay, no, we're playing in my homebrew campaign, so here are the changes that I've made to XYZ because that's how I felt. I felt like changing XYZ because I literally can.
Yeah. I mean, it's guidelines. It's how the books have always been established. And when you start going around changing it, don't get me wrong, like you said, it's okay if you want to change it for the future and for like updating books. That way in the future you're kind of looking out for stuff like that. And this is coming from people of color who kind of would technically be offended by this, right? It is what it is when it comes to.
It is what it is.
It's not like people are going around rewriting our slave history. You know?
Exactly.
It's kind of like the same thing. It's just like imagine if we're drought in the universe. Yeah. And all of a sudden, like a big pen came and was like, this is my story. This is my entire world. This is what I've lived my life, and now I've changed my life to become a hit. Wait! What are you doing? That's my story. What are you? That's my.
It's okay, buddy.
Where's my identity?
Yeah.
Who am I?
Yeah, someone took mine too.
And then someone's just like, "Oh, you've always been good. What about the 30 people I slaughtered in my sleep?"
It doesn't matter anymore, sir.
My backstory.
Your backstory is rewritten.
Oh, it is up to you. How you lived your life.
Okay, I still would have killed 30 people.
Yeah, but like I've already established my backstory, and this character's been in my
you're
life
an evil
for
outcast
years.
then. You're an evil outcast now. Mm-hmm. You're an evil outcast. You understand that? Love is a good bitch now. She's a good bitch.
Huh?
Yeah.
A demon lord?
Yeah, she's the best bitch ever.
Oh.
Yes. She helped.
Oh.
It was actually Elistrate that was trying to
Spider.
Yes, now we kill Elistrate. Now Elistrate is the bad bitch.
Okay, who's writing my story? And I want it rewritten back to what it originally was because it was to the point.
Nerds on the internet.
So it's the idea of rewriting what's already been written.
It's literally what they did to us in school. So like I don't know how many people's education were proper, but in Brooklyn when I grew up, I learned that Christopher Columbus was an amazing human and did no wrong, and went and educated the Native Americans, and he gave them food and intelligence and taught them about Jesus. Meanwhile, when you find out later,
he was an asshole.
You found out he gave him a bunch of items filled with, diseases that just eradicated them instead. That's literally what's happening. Like, I'm being taught like I'm a child. Like, we're not
grown-ups.
Yes.
And the people, it's like the people who have kind of already been established with this lore for a long time. Not to say that it's hurting our feelings any. Like, you can do whatever you guys want to, and we'll kind of write our stories the way we want to regarding either the old lore or the new lore that you create. Good for you. I'm glad that you're addressing such things. But if you're the reason why people that have played the game for a long time get upset about it is because, first of all, it's the mentality of, oh well, why are people getting offended by it? Well, then if that's your reasoning, you got to kind of look back. And you kind of have to see it from a standpoint of where other people are coming from to begin with. And you can understand how people could get offended by it. I can. But personally, I'm going to write and play my story the way we wanted to. We did a whole entire AC2 High series on basically drow culture that was already established. And we made it our own thing. And that's our, on this channel, that's like the first series we ever did. And it was literally only about Trixie Clemstorm and Maxie. And we literally both played drows, and we played an entire campaign where we were destined to Viva la Revolution. We literally Viva la Revolution.
Exactly.
And we created our own organization and changed the perspective of how drows were viewed on the overworld, or at least tried to. And basically...
Mostly in Tal'Dorei, though.
Mostly in Tal'Dorei. We played in the Tal'Dorei region when we did that. But that's a way of that's the way we did it, right? Now we're in this whole topic of what's PC and what's not, and we're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Can we just kind of skip all that stuff and kind of get to the part where you have fun doing whatever you have fun doing? If something offends you, you talk to your DM, you talk to your fellow players, you talk to whoever you feel like is necessary to talk to about the issue, and if they're not willing to change, you find a group that fits you.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not, there was a one that we were looking at, or I think I probably looked at separately. I don't remember right now, but it was one where it was like, oh, I didn't realize Dungeons and Dragons had demons, and I'm a Christian. We can't play this stuff. We got to rewrite the whole thing. Literally, a person just wanted to solo rewrite the entire thing that the DM was telling them,
because he felt personally like his religion was going to be affected, or
exactly.
him personally was going to be affected by what's going on in D&D, and that's how you feel. That's you, right? But you can't speak for everybody at the table.
No, not at all. Then you play your own Christian group that doesn't have XYZ cultists and all that good stuff, and you play it however you want to, but that's your table. You have your Christian group table that plays D&D, and you never use a magic class. You use all the fighters. You use barbarians and fighter and rogue, and you have fun with it.
The big thing that is like the number one thing about Caleb when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons is my number one word is consent. As long as you give the DM consent on the things that you're comfortable with, give them and tell them that if you're uncomfortable with things, communicate and speak your mind about what's a personal issue for you that's currently happening in the game. I don't personally recommend you being the guy that always goes in and goes, well, I have an issue with this every week, because then you're going to probably annoy your DM. And if you already have that many issues with the story itself, you probably need to start your own group or find another group.
Or ask questions before you start. That's what, generally speaking, DMs are supposed to. Yeah, supposed to have all that stuff happen during Session 0. Like, I had an in-depth conversation with all my players before we started, and I was like, hey, this is going to be a gritty game. I'm going to make it fairly gritty. You're going to have difficulties. Nothing is going to be easy. This is hard mode.
And that's the style that you run.
Yeah.
That's his style. Wednesdays, as much as we are currently on the live stream, eventually I'll get around to posting this posting our series either on my channel, I don't know if I'm going to do that yet, or AC2 High. I still have to decide where I'm going to post the series. But he's been running on Wednesdays recently a group of me and our friend that we've met online. And and we play Dungeons and Dragons all the time on Wednesday. And I presented them with the idea of literally a Peter Pan-esque like escapade, and it's dark. I wanted it to be dark, granted, because that's how I view Peter Pan in my mind. I feel like it's better when the story is dark, but regardless, it's dark. I knew what I was getting myself into. I asked for it. Our friend Emily, she was like, yeah, I'm totally down to play a story like that. It's not going to be the main story by any means, but that was the backstory I decided to work with.
Definitely.
And she's got a dark one as well. We went into it knowing what we were wanting and knowing what kind of style of game that he plays.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, Wizard of the Coast is doing what they feel is necessary. I guess kudos to them. We're not personally going to be changing the lore. We're going to be using the standard lore that is already given.
And not only that, man, the thing about that too is, what about the people who are establishing their own homebrew universes and presenting them to audiences like we are doing currently? We have a homebrew campaign, right? We have two technically. We have one that's in his universe that I have not posted on the channel yet. One that is Sky Orphans, which is based in Orstera, which is the universe where Octopath Traveler is, and we have our Forgotten Realms universe where we play our version of Forgotten Realms, where we rewrite the stories or kind of like play out the adventures of Wizards of the Coast in our own minds and kind of like do our own versions of these stories.
And we just kind of like we fuse all the storylines together. This way we have callbacks. It just makes it fun for us.
Yeah.
You don't have to have callbacks to your story if you don't want to. We just like it. Like, technically, Critical Role, they play in the same universe. But they don't always just call things back because they don't need to for the stories that they're in. But we literally have shit that takes place all over the place, and they connect together because that's how...
They're creating their own world and universe.
Yeah.
And that's why, if you ask me a question like, do you prefer homebrew or do you prefer running the Forgotten Realms universe? 10 times out of 10, I'm going to tell you homebrew. You know why? Because if you're creating something, it's your creation. It's your world. It's your universe. And you start from scratch and you don't have to worry about, lore this, lore that, unless you just want to take pieces from like the Forgotten Realms lore and put it into your world. We do that with our homebrew campaigns when it comes to like certain shit, because we like to include certain things like the multiverses, and we like to include some like established Forgotten Realm lords in our thing, because we take the stuff that we like and we use it, and we leave the stuff that's bad in our minds and unnecessary, and we don't use it. It's as simple as that. You use what you view as useful, and you don't use what you don't like. It's simple human reactions. And
just cut out the bad, and just leave the good.
Exactly.
Whatever that looks like to you.
Honestly, when it comes to this whole situation, I feel as though that's like you said. It's good that they're doing it. It's good that they're at least acknowledging it, and they're doing something about it. But personally, in our opinions, it's not necessary.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue reading this shit. Okay. They have a new section on alignment as well. Sorry that I keep fidgeting with this thing. The button came off of one of my favorites.
Yeah, bro, that's been happened to all my shirts too. The buttons, because our washer sucks.
Our washer is garbage, man.
It eats things because at the bottom there's like this little part that hangs off, and it just eats our clothes. Real good stuff.
If you guys ever played Sims and you guys use the low quality stuff, and like your shit gets fucked up and breaks all the time, that's us. We live in that shitty sim life.
Yeah,
we are those sims that are
whoever's over here clicking on us.
Ubi got me. Ah, got me.
That's us
when
right
they
there.
point at their mouths and their assholes.
I always point at my asshole.
Like, I got a poopy. Where do I go? Alignment. Alignment had a timeout in the stat blocks. Alignment had a timeout in the stat blocks of Candlekeep Mysteries and Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. We omitted alignment in those books as a temporary measure, giving us time to determine how to handle alignment going forward. Now that we've done that work, alignment returns in Wild Beyond the Witchlight and appears in all other upcoming books as well. So why did alignment get a timeout? I mean, we can put it together why that's the case, but we're going to read it out loud.
Yeah.
For a while, there have been confusion in the community about alignment's role in D&D. In the rules of the player's handbook, you choose your character's alignment, and in the rules of the monster manual, the DM determines a monster's alignment. No matter what alignment is chosen, a creature's alignment describes the creature's moral outlook. Alignment doesn't determine the creature's behavior. Alignment is essentially a role-playing aid. Both books are clear about the player and the DM having final say on alignment. But both books also plant a seed of doubt. The player's handbook suggests alignments for various folks in the D&D multiverse, and the stat blocks in the monster manual include alignments, without reminding the DM that those alignments are merely suggestions. To eliminate that seed of doubt while persevering alignment's function as a role-playing tool, we've made the following changes. Only named individuals, such as Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, have a defined alignment. Generic humans bear the words any alignment, reminding the DM that such people have vast moral range. Magical creatures that have a strong moral inclination, angels, demons, devils, undead, and the like, have an alignment preceding by the words typical. Typically. For example, a demon stat block says typically chaotic evil, since it is typical for a D&D demon to be a chaotic evil. That one word, typically, reminds the DM that the alignment is a narrative suggestion. It isn't an existential absolute. The holy can fall and the fiendish can rise. Members of certain organizations, charitable knighthoods, or diabolical cults, for example, also sometimes get the typically treatment.
Yeah, just like how I'm using a succubus in one of the campaigns, but I'm not just having it just drain the life out of everyone and manipulate the party the whole time. Because
that would be too easy.
Yeah. They are typically XYZ. They're typically.
I mean, technically, you fucked with me for like an entire session and a half with that.
Yeah, but she never used one. She's never she's never drained you. She's never like the drain kiss.
Yeah, I would have died.
Yeah. Yeah, she's never used her drain kiss. She's used a little come hither thing.
And that's it.
That's really it.
And now she's gone.
Yeah.
Creatures such as
now she's gone.
Most beasts and oozes that are incapable of moral discernment continue to lack an alignment and therefore bear the term unaligned. Okay, all honesty, long time coming. I think this is something that, in all honesty, should have been a thing to begin with.
I mean, that's how we play the game.
That's how most people play the game, or they should be playing the game, in our opinions. Because you can play D&D however you want. If you want to stick to the alignments of the D&D gods, Wizards of the Coast, have ordained, it's up to you. And you can
like they literally just said, they flat out said, bro, those are just suggestions. You can play however the fuck you want.
I love how Wizards of the Coast. If you were paying attention to how they read that or how they wrote that, it literally pretty much said, in very simple terms, play the game how you want.
Make it it's a make a guessing game, because you look at a goblin or you look at, say for instance, a fucking chain devil, and you're like, that dude's gonna fucking murder me and eat me.
And there's a reason why they have lore established to these monsters and creatures or humanoids, right? It's for when your players interact with them socially, and depending on the questions, the statements, and what has been said, they can react in ways that you as the DM, view the character to react.
So then you could say, like, say for instance, succubuses normally tend to go after feeble-minded creatures with a lot of money. They really don't. They go after anything and anyone that can possibly just get whatever they want accomplished.
Exactly.
But they could be like money grabbers, like gold diggers. They could be gold digging succubuses.
Also, it's one of those things where it's just like, think about human beings, right? All of us are individuals and we're different. We have different emotions and we react differently to different things because we have different souls, different minds, different bodies. Same thing with other creatures. Same thing with a lot of demons. Like the way that a lot of people have perceived creatures, I mean, demons are kind of to the point, right? Most of the time, and they're not wrong, demons are pretty bad, right? But I saw something
bad.
On D&D TikTok where a warlock patron to the demon lord Gretz, or Grazit, I don't remember how to say his name. I used the demon lord recently in our Out of the Abyss campaign, but I still have a hard time with his name because all the demon lords have really weird names.
I mean, D&D has weird names, let's be honest.
Exactly. They used Grazit and they showed like a more sensitive side to him and a more complex side to him by having that patron warlock relationship kind of divulge into more of a friendship and kinship and a relationship. And it shows that either he's using that for manipulation, he could still be doing that, right? But it's also showing the range of, you can play a character however you want to. You can play a patron however you want to. You're still the one behind the driver's seat.
Because you can literally see the difference between, say for instance, we'll bring up Critical Role because it's popular and everyone knows about it.
Yeah.
You can see the difference between how Matt Mercer runs Gods and how Andrea Abria runs Gods.
Mm-hmm.
There's a night and day with that.
Yeah.
She has her Gods interact directly and more vocally.
Mm-hmm.
And more expressive. Matt Mercer has his more ominous, secretive, and riddle-based. But that's how he runs them, because he's allowed to. Essentially speaking, you can have the same interactions that Matt Mercer has and Andrea Bria, and as long as the message comes across the same exact way, it's just different contextual usage of said god.
Correct.
You could pretty much, Matt Mercer could just say, you feel a rustling in the wind, and you feel the slight breeze against your neck, like happiness and joy overcoming you. And then you have Andrea Bria literally just come in as the god and just like, hello, hey, no, I'm right here. Hi. Yeah. What are you doing? Exactly. That's once again, it's the same world. It's the same exact universe.
Just play differently. Because the person behind the seat is just choosing to run it the way they want to.
Exactly. We can literally, that's honestly one of the biggest contrasts you could like make as far as that goes.
Mm-hmm. Also, it's one of those things where people, I know this might feel a little bit of a brain dead, like nail over the head. Yeah, I get it, obviously, right, to a lot of people, but a lot of people don't do this. A lot of people feel like they get personally offended by what the DM is doing behind the scene, and they go like, technically, no, that actually that would be that way if we were running it though, like how they want.
Okay, cool.
And
that's cool.
And
right.
And that's typically, and that's just weird. To me, that's weird. That's very weird. When people just start to try to correct you on the way that you feel that they feel that you should run the game. Because it's cool and all. That's fine. All right, if that's the way you feel, you come behind the seat.
If it's a mistake, it's a mistake.
And I will sit behind the thing because I'm the first one to admit I make a shit ton of mistakes.
Same.
All the time. And I'm okay with that. You know why? Because it's a recognition that I'm human, first of all. And the second of all, I can fix it later. If I'm recognizing that I'm making a mistake, I can fix it for the future so I don't make that mistake again. And there's a difference between a player going, hey, I think you're running that wrong. And someone going like, well, if you're going by the rules written, this is how this is. You can run it any way you want, but if you're going by rules written, this is technically how this would go. And that's different because then my reaction goes to, oh, okay, let me check that out, and oh yeah, cool, no worries, I'm cool with that. Because that's the interactions I have with Chris all the time.
Yeah,
he likes to, when something is clearly like an issue or there's a problem potentially between something that's being miscommunicated. He'll give his 2 cents, and then most of the time I'll be like, okay, all right, okay, that makes sense. And then I'll process that information for a few seconds, and then I'll make a decision based off that. I got to give my brain personally, that's my brain. I have to give my brain like a little bit of time when it comes to those personal situations. Or like those, it's not like, and I'm not making it a big deal like, oh my god, I want to punch this guy, or something serious like that. I'm talking about like situations where, technically he would get advantage, or technically because of this, this rule's a little iffy. I'm not exactly sure how to rule that.
I mean, that's why I just come up with stuff on the fly, and I'm just like,
I just say do that.
This is how it's gonna happen.
Yep.
This is how it's gonna happen.
I've been doing that a lot recently too, and it's liberating because then there's no confusion. It's just like, okay, that's how he's running it.
This is how I see it right now. This is how we're gonna play it out right now.
Exactly. All right. Tags. Occasionally, a creature has a tag: elf, goblinoid, titan, or the like. That identifies an important detail that doesn't appear elsewhere in the stat block. We've begun introducing new tags, which some rules now reference, allowing us to create fresh ways for creatures to interact with the game system. For example, some creatures now include a tag that is in the name of the spellcasting class, such as cleric, druid, or wizard, and Monsters of the Multiverse includes a rule that says such a tag means the creature counts as a member of the named class for the purpose of magic item attunement. I like that. It's a nice fresh add-on.
Items to certain NPCs.
And also, like, that's going to be great for D&D Beyond. And apps like that are able to implement these tags. That way they can just click them off the monster stat block or the spellcasting stat block or whatever tag that you're using, and then kind of connect the magic item with whatever creature you're looking to use that with. I love that. I think that's a great add-on. Good job, guys.
Monster of the Multiverse is literally just going to be a compilation of every D&D stat block in 5th edition thus far, all just kind of mashed into one. So all the books that you don't have to previously pre-purchase them, essentially speaking, like how you have to find this book in order to get this monster and find this book in order to get this monster. It's just literally just going to be all in one book.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
For those who haven't essentially bought every single freaking
so
book already.
it's like an Uber monster manual then.
Yeah. It's just going to be a reprint of every book with monsters in it so far. I'm not sure about like adventures. Probably not. Probably just not separate adventures, but the books that have been officially released by Wizards of the Coast, so is what that's going to be.
That tracks. All right. Proficiency bonus. Many of the numbers in a stat block include the creature's proficiency bonus. Because of that fact, a creature's proficiency bonus now appears in the stat block.
Which is amazing because it's
God.
like, what kind of proficiency does this character have? Now you know.
Thank God. There were so many times where I just got so confused on that part. It's like, okay, so this tracks here, and then I get myself lost.
Yeah, you have to kind of
navigate.
Just add it up yourself, just like the track. Okay, this is his proficiency. Okay.
Bonus actions. If a creature has any bonus action, those actions now appear in a section called bonus action. Thank God. That section goes after the action sections, and if a monster has a reaction section, the bonus action section goes between actions and reactions.
Yeah, because it goes actions, bonus actions, reactions. So it's reactions lasting years.
This new section makes it easier for a DM to spot bonus actions when running a creature, which
once
previously
again,
hid
like when they
a creature stats.
rebuild the entire book, it's going to have all these additions, which are going to be amazing because you'll be able to see bonus actions. Like that is a really important thing to know. Creature's action economy. It's as a DM.
It's so annoying, and you get trapped by it all the time because you completely
have to
forget.
look for the word action in the title. Action over here. Action over there.
Exactly.
Jafe.
Spellcasting. Since 2014, spellcasting creatures have tended to have the spellcasting trait, the innate spellcasting trait, or both. Starting in 2021, we have merged those two traits into an action called spellcasting. Thank goodness. That action now appears in the action section of the stat block and has a few important qualities. Spellcasting actions don't use spell slots. A creature can act...
Oh, the certain spells per day.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what they're talking about. Like, you know the section because they have that in Inquisit's stat block where they had certain spells where they could just use them. So instead of having it where they just have the random spells right next to their names.
So that's actually even better because they'll never be able to know how many spell slots a creature has because they don't have spell slots. They have spells.
It's great. The only spells that appear in the spellcasting actions are ones that take an action to cast. If a spell requires a bonus action, a reaction, or a minute or more to cast, that spell must appear elsewhere in the stat block. This change ensures that bonus actions and reactions such as Misty Step and Shield are hiding out in a list of spells.
Nice, okay. For those who do not know, it would make you a lot easier for you.
Reactions and bonus actions.
And plus, we don't know what every single freaking bonus action a spell is. Oh, look at that, because it's impossible. It's impossible to know all of them.
Exactly. We're more selective about which spells appear in a stat block, focusing on spells that have non-combat utility. A magic using monster's most potent firepower is now usually represented by a special magic action, rather than relying on spells.
Interesting.
I like that. I'm interested. I don't know if I like it, right? Because we got to see the stat block in action in order for us to actually make a real judgment. But on paper, it sounds great.
Definitely.
New character races, the fairy and the Herringon both appeared in Unearthed Arcana, which is now bye, and they now appear in their final form in the book. The races have several characteristics that you'll not only see in the book, but also in the character races for our upcoming books. Creature type. In the past, a creature's race was presumed to have the humanoid creature type. In the new races, the creature's creature type is specified. For example, the fairy has the Fey creature type. Creatures types don't have rules themselves, but some rules in the game affect creatures of certain types in different ways. For example, the Cure Wounds spell doesn't work on a construct or an undead.
Which, finally, because it's just like, oh, okay. So a whole person could just work on a fairy because it would just normally be labeled as a humanoid in older books. To be like, oh, bam, a person could work on you. Okay, that's cool. That's alright, that's fine.
Hooray!
Look at me, I'm not a fairy. I'm not a fairy creature.
I'm not a fucking fairy, bitch.
I'm not a fairy. I'm not a fairy anymore. I'm a person.
I'm a person.
I'm a boogie person.
Okay, so check it on the camera, making sure it's good. It's still good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can tell you about the ability score improvements. I don't have to read this section. So essentially, what they are adding to the races, because I already tested this out with when I was creating a fairy character earlier. Essentially, instead of it having like a set ability score for you to do, they're literally taking Tasha's rule.
Yeah.
And establishing them to all the new races.
Exactly.
So instead of...
it's not going to be optional anymore. It's going to just be a thing.
Which just should have been a thing to begin with, which is great. So let's put an example to Orc, right? Orcs get a strength boost and a con boost. Simple as that. I could be completely wrong about that, but that's the first thing that came to my head, and I believe I'm right. Strength boost and a con boost. Instead, they're going to have, for these racial traits,
a +2 to one thing and a +1 to the other.
Keep it simple. Or you can increase 3 different ability points by 1.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the thing now on. You get to choose, and that encourages.
Or you can increase one thing by 3 as well.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's you don't split the 1-1-1. It's 2-1 or 3.
No, because there is to increase 3 different ability scores by 1. So the 3 is 1-1-1. So it is 1-1-1.
I didn't see that option with the character creator, so I didn't think it was a thing.
No, I understand. I mean, like, and if that still makes sense if that was an option as well. So technically, all 3 in my mind are.
Yeah, all
accurate.
3 is capable. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
aside from if you're a damn human, you're broken.
Yeah.
You're just broken.
Or half elf. Both of them are really broken.
Just broken.
So age. New character races lack an age trait. We instead now provide the following text about a character's lifespan. The typical lifespan of a player character in the D&D universe is about a century, assuming the character does not meet a violent end on an adventure. Members of some races, such as dwarves and elves, can live for centuries. That's to the point, at least.
Yeah.
But I like the little details. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
Please don't take that away. Alignment. Previously, the text of the text of a character race suggested an alignment for your character. Newer races contain no such alignment choices because it's up to you to create whatever character you want. It's simple. Keep it simple, stupid.
Very simple.
Size. Some new races, including the Heron God, let you choose whether you start as medium or small. Hallelujah.
It's almost like people can be small.
Right? The humans should have that.
It's almost like people can actually be small. I've seen short people before in my life.
Exactly.
It is a real thing.
Also, rather than suggesting height and weight in a race, we provide the following text. Player characters, regardless of race, typically fall into the same ranges of height and weight that humans have in our world. If you'd like to determine your character's height and weight randomly, consult the random height and weight table in the player's
handbook. That's not
handbook.
too much of a importance.
It's not important at all. The new races lack traits that are purely cultural, so they don't include a language trait. Instead, new characters start knowing common and one language that you and your DM agree that's
I don't exactly agree with that, but that's fine.
That's it. Because then they have this little section where they're talking about questions about herringons.
Apparently people were confused.
Okay, so fuck it. We're already here, right? When a herringon uses rabbit hop, does the trait's jump expend movement? The rabbit hop trait lets a herringon jump as a bonus action, and that jump doesn't consume any of the herringon's normal movement. That fact is why the trait has a limited number of uses between long rests. If you compare the wording of rabbit hop to the wording of the long and high jump rule in the player's handbook, you'll see those rules explicitly expend movement, whereas rabbit hop does not.
I guess people are confused about that? I wasn't.
I was not confused about it either. It literally just says, you can hop as a bonus action. You can spend your long jump height as a bonus action. That's it. But apparently people were confused about it, which, you know, I can get that. D&D can be confusing at times.
Yeah, it can.
Is rabbit hop a high jump or a long jump? The jump of a rabbit hop is neither a high jump or a long jump.
It's a jump.
If it were either, its tech would say so.
It's just a jump.
It's just a jump, guys. Does the jump spell benefit rabbit hop? Yes, the jump spell can affect the jump speed of a rabbit hop because it affects jump speed. If you cast a spell on a herringon, enjoy the magnificent leaps. Are you required to jump the full distance of the rabbit hop? You don't have to jump the full distance of the rabbit hop when you use it. We will clarify that intent in the future printing of the fucking rabbit hop.
Apparently, wow. I mean,
these are questions people ask.
Why would you just want to always jump 90? Why would you?
Because I'm a rabbit.
So you just want to jump 90
Yes.
feet? Okay, alright, cool, that's fine. You do what you want then, buddy. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna stop you, wabbit. You filthy wabbit.
Okay, the camera's still being alright. It's alright. It's starting to lag a little bit, but that's fine. It's nothing I can't handle. It's
not the end of the
it's
squirrel.
kept up. And lastly, we are going to do one thing before we end our Dragon Coffee.
King Mickey.
End our Dragon Coffee.
King Mickey. Is Sora
episode.
considered a fantasy character?
Okay. When we do this little segment, when we choose a character and we make it in our minds, it's literally purely based on our feelings and the way we want to create the character. You can create the character any way you want to. And this is how we would view the character in our universe. And that's it. You can have your opinion, and that's fine. I'm free to discuss what you guys view as how you would build them. But this is just our build. Just going to present that before we start building. Simple as that. Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple.
I feel like a child.
It's
Every
okay.
time I'm like doing that.
Sometimes children are children.
We always keep the optional rule on.
Duh.
Keep it simple, asshole.
Bish kick.
Dicker. Okay, so here we go.
Sure.
Sora.
What the
He's arrived. Da, da,
A rare
da,
crow-crow.
da, 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 da.
Rare crow.
So, okay. Background. Give me the background on Sora.
He came from a Final Fantasy game by Tetsuya Nomura. When he was in the elevator with the Disney executive because they shared
I know
the same
that.
building.
No. I'm talking about the character, not.
Hold on, I'm getting to it.
I know the story.
And so, he was telling a joke. He was like, "Hey, it would be really funny if we joined forces." And the guy was like, "Okay, I'll see you tomorrow." He was like, "I'll see you tomorrow," and then he talked to his boss. He was like, "So, Nomura said something really LOL, laugh out loud funny," and the guy was like, "What was it?" He was like, "I'd be really cool if we joined forces," and the guy was like, "LOL, laugh out loud," and he goes like, "Limfeo, we should probably do that." Limfeo, and then it happened.
Okay, so as far as the game goes,
so
like in the game,
when Sora was a baby.
Dude, this is actually established lore. The reason why I'm asking you, right?
Yeah.
Is because I've watched playthroughs of 1 and 2.
Sora.
And I played 3. I don't know the backstory.
Sora, Kairi, and Riku were on an island.
Correct. I remember this.
A desolated island with literally just them, 2 random kids that also were in Final Fantasy games that never came up ever again after that.
Which Final Fantasy games were they in?
Final Fantasy X, which was Waka.
Well, yeah. Oh, you're talking about them. Yeah, I know those. I know those.
And the other one, whose name I don't remember.
I don't remember his name either.
It was some lady. And some other dude. Titus. Yeah, but it was Titus with Titus, whatever. They changed his name. It was supposed to be Titus, also from Final Fantasy X. Anyways, they were there and they didn't serve a purpose. Anyways, they were all stuck on this island, and Riku and Kairi, Sora, they were all like, "Dude, we gotta leave this place, even if it means abandoning our parents." Literally had no intention of bringing them with them. This is actually fucked up.
We gotta leave.
So they built a raft. They literally went around collecting a whole bunch of different items in order to build this raft.
I remember.
They built the raft, but before that, when they were about to go out, Kairi and Riku were missing. A whole bunch of Heartless showed up to the place, but before that, there was a guy in a cave, and he went into the cave. He always goes into this cave. There was a dude just randomly stepped out of nowhere. He's like, "Yo, this shit gonna get crazy."
Yeah, I remember that.
And Riku, Sora was like, "Yo, what are you doing here?" And then he disappeared. And then the Heartless came, rained down hell upon the place, and sucked everything up into a portal of blackness. They ended up in Travis Town, which from there they started collecting a whole bunch of different parts in order to get a gummy ship. Because Sid apparently knew how to make a gummy ship. That's his thing. Sid was in the game, and he wanted to make a gummy ship. Along with Chip and Dale. Chip and Dale also like making gummy ships.
Yep, that was their only thing.
He took a gummy ship, and then from there, the game actually splits off into whatever the fuck you want it to be, and so therefore there's no linear path.
Yeah.
You do whatever you want afterwards.
Yep, I now remember this. I needed a refresher because, like I said, I watched the playthrough once of both games. And then I played 3. I know 3 is lore, that's it.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then whenever there was callbacks when I was playing 3,
you were like, "Huh?"
I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
I'm sure
it was cool, but I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Oh yeah, no, you would literally have to play them fresh off the bat before you play that.
That makes sense
because there's too much shit to remember.
Yeah, that series is all over the place.
Yeah.
So what we do here is we take a character, and if we want to create on the next few episodes when we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons and Dragon Coffee, we can create Mickey, we can create Goofy, we can create Donald.
Ew.
We can do those.
Ew.
But those would be like specific to those episodes. We can own. I want to limit these character builds that we do at the end to the character that we want. That way we're establishing enough love and dedication to how we view this character would be viewed in the Forgotten Realms or D&D universe, etc., etc. Our universe, doesn't matter how we view them. So let's take that plot to that character and then put this in the D&D multiverse.
I would either go with Hexblood or Fairy.
Why Fairy?
Fairy and Hexblood specifically because he is a creature and not a person.
He's like the embodiment of light.
The thing is that he is technically a nobody.
Oh God!
Yes,
because the whole nobody. Somebody.
He is. Roxas.
What isn't he a somebody?
He's one of them.
Is Roxas the nobody?
I don't know exactly, but either way,
I was confused during 3 the entire time when they were talking about.
He is all by all technicality, he is a Heartless. He is a variation of a Heartless. Because nobodies are variations of Heartless.
Oh, so would it be? So I kind of like the idea.
That's why they say Hexblood as well, because Hexblood is a cursed.
What about Kalistar?
What
do you think about that? I'm not saying that it's great.
It fits too.
It fits as well. I kind of like the idea.
But he doesn't really have the telepathic ability that comes with it.
Tomatoes, tomatoes. Who gives a fuck, right?
He has the flying ability. He's capable of flight.
Because what if Roxas? Roxas is the one he's talking to.
He's never talking to anyone.
Who's like Roxas in his head or some shit? I don't know.
He's in his head, but he's never talking to him. He's never guiding him to do whatever he's doing.
Hey, I'm finally talking to you.
Like, Chain of Memories, he was literally a zombie walking around, which is the weirdest thing ever. Because he was in a cryogenic stasis between number 1 and 2. And Chain of Memories, he's like in his dream world. The game is crazy.
Why are they doing that?
The game is crazy. So that's why I see him as a creature.
I get that.
That's why I just see him as a creature type and not like... He's not a human. No, he's not a human. He's not a fucking human. Either Elf can fit too, due to the fact that he's been rebirthed multiple times.
I was about to say, in all honesty, Elf would make sense. He never... That's technically what makes sense in my brain.
Or Mousefolk.
Well, since he's a somebody, right? He's not a nobody.
I don't know which one he is. I just know
we go.
He is not a human.
Roxas is a nobody, right?
Joe will tell you that stuff.
Right? Yeah, he probably would be able to tell that. Roxas is a nobody, right?
Roxas is Sora's nobody.
Was Roxas actually a nobody? Roxas has feelings. Right from the beginning, Roxas is copying the feel. Oh, God.
Yes.
Roxas is a nobody. Which means that Sora's a somebody.
That's how it should work?
I don't know. I just remember it correlating somehow. You see how confusing this is, people?
Yes.
Sora was a somebody?
A small body? Somebody?
Is Sora a human?
He's not.
People ask these questions. Physical appearance. Physical Sora Heartless is Sora but still incomplete.
Yikes. Whoever wrote that did not words.
So they're both nobodies. This is why I don't look at shit like this. I thought he was a nobody. That's why shit don't look at this. That literally makes no fucking sense to me. That doesn't correlate.
Mm.
What qualifies as a nobody or somebody? Someone with darkness in their heart?
I believe it is a heartless that has been killed by someone who can't seal.
What about Veldragon? He could be an alien, right?
Yeah, Blue Sora. Yeah, Blue Sora running around.
He's got the Sora hair and everything. And the bad back.
And the bad back? That is not because of the big-ass Keyblade he's wielding as
You know what? Hexblade would make sense if they went the head option, right?
I mean, I just see it as more as like a curse, he's cursed. He's cursed as fuck. That's why I just see either that or fairy.
That works. I don't see him as a fairy. We'll do custom lineage and put him hexblood. I like it. Because if there's a character that is confusing and will forever be confusing to me, it will be fucking Sora.
Wait, hexbloods get a feat? Or is it because of the lineage, the custom lineage?
Oh,
Yeah.
I chose it right?
Yeah, no.
I know I did.
Yeah, no, you did.
Because I don't think you could choose any other way.
I don't think you get a feat. Okay.
Is custom lineage different? I gotta know.
Unless that's something else.
It could be. I want to know what love is.
Because I clicked it. Yeah, I played.
There it is.
Okay.
Regular lineage. So there is a custom lineage and then a lineage.
Yeah.
Where you're just make it up.
Yeah, custom lineage is it's not a race. It's not anything. It's whatever you want to play.
Oh, that's amazing. I kind of want to go with custom lineage. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. What about Reborn?
Yeah, it could be reborn too.
Reborn's cool. He's reborn into somebody.
No, he's a nobody, dude. I told you that. He's a nobody.
What the fuck is a nobody?
Sora. Heartless, darkness, Riku.
Great.
Light, Sora.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Acrobatics.
Yeah, that's what he's
Is he good with Arcana? Would he be good with Arcana?
I mean, he knows how to wield fire. No one taught him how to do it. He just does it.
True enough. So acrobatics and Arcana. He's a medium creature. Hex magic.
Hex magic.
Yeah,
He has no intelligence.
He has no charisma. Actually, he kind of does.
He has charisma. He has no wisdom or intelligence.
But what about the cheese line? That was charisma to you?
Yeah. Charisma can be cringy too.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, charisma in the way of cringe?
Yeah.
That's great.
It could be cringy. Get it cringy good.
Are we going warlock with this guy?
I see warlock fighter.
I see fighter. Maybe Eldritch Knight.
Yeah, warlock Eldritch Knight. Because they it's still the pack, just to have the pack thing, because he has that going on. He can literally summon and unsummon his thing.
Okay, so we'll do 3 levels warlock, 3 levels fighter, 1 level warlock right now.
Whatever you want.
I don't know. We'll experiment real quick. But the way that I see it is that definitely, I think the first few levels you want to take fighter, or at least the thing is that we need the first class that you choose is important because it's the saving throws as well. So if we're going to make him charisma based, right, we probably want to go warlock level first to get those proficiency in those saving throws.
Yeah.
So we go warlock first, and then we'll go with fighter class stuff after that. So we'll take our, oh my god, the darkness.
Darkness, Sora, Heartless,
His
Riku.
patron is the darkness. Wow. So, I heard warlocks have patrons.
Okay.
What is your patron, young man?
Oh, it's the light that shines within my heart. Friendship. And passion towards others.
You do know this is a warlock club, right? You can only be a warlock to come here.
Yes. I get power from my friends.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that guy gets power from Asmodeus, and he's looking at you like you're a
Know
snack.
who that is.
He's a demon lord. He looks at you like you're a snack, boy.
What does that mean, a snack?
Going for you.
You want to be my friend too?
Punches you in the face.
Well,
Steve, why'd you punch that boy in the face with another charge?
He has counter. He has counter. Remember, he even has it in the game too. He even has
His
a
counter in the Hexblade's blood?
It's Sora. Shut the fuck up. He has counter.
He does not have counter
He
yet.
has counter. He has counter.
He does not.
He has counter, young man.
So, Battlemaster might not be bad either.
I wouldn't say he's a battle.
Is he not a master of battle?
I wouldn't say that at all.
Well, then that's your choice.
I would never agree to say that.
He never intimidated anyone, right?
No.
I mean, he was good with deception because he always, like...
He never lied. He always told the truth.
Could deception be in the matter of, like, he was good at disguising himself?
No. He was a truthful ass nigga.
I know he was truthful. I was just talking about in the way of, like, concealing himself.
Oh, that was an accident. That was due to his patron, which is the friendship.
What I'm talking about is when he goes out of the world.
Yeah, this is a friendship. That's the power of friendship
Like,
that does that.
like, I know, I'm not... Oh, fuck!
Yeah.
Okay, well then, there's nothing good here. Religion.
Yeah, he's not smart. I'm religious. What?
There's literally no good things that make sense for him. So you just choose what you want, as far as his proficiencies go.
I mean, I guess he did wield a big keyblade.
That could be intimidating, I guess.
How such a small child who is such a big keyblade? I don't know friendship.
Fuck it, whatever.
I don't know friendship.
Fuck it,
I don't know.
We are personally pissed off that that Daisy's whatever line from the new Mario Golf game got removed.
We paid $60 for that that voice line.
Come on, man.
And
it's the best voice line in the game, and they decided to go,
fuck it, whatever.
Boo! And then we replace it with the boo. So it's annoying.
Yeah.
So we always just go, whatever.
Fuck it, whatever.
So guaranteed, we'll do 6 levels here. You want to go, in our eyes, we see him as Pact of the Blade, Hexblade Warlock, instead of a blade, it clearly being a key to his thing, and his patron is the light shines within him.
Yes, and friendship.
And then fighter. 3 levels fighter for an Eldritch Knight to get some more stuff, and then...
And, like, honestly, the way you actually build Sora in the actual game is completely dependent on how you kind of view him. I played him as a combo artist, so I would mostly build him fighter.
God!
For the most part, or there are a lot of people who like the mage route, because at the beginning you get to pick 3 stats.
I went the mage route.
Yeah, so yeah. Like, at the beginning, you get to pick your 3 stats that you want to funnel into. So, you pick shield, sword, or wand that increases which one goes, like, which attribute goes higher. So you could be a tank, which doesn't work out, or you could be an attacker or magic user. So you can kind of
do whatever you want.
However you want to.
You literally can build them however you want. We don't even have to worry about that. He's a dumb nigga though. Ooh, sorry. That's how we talk when you're not.
Wow, dude.
My bad. Dude. He's a dummy. He's a dumb.
Yeah, he's a dumb, stupid mother.
But he's lovable.
Oh, you said that out loud.
He's a lovable idiot.
Ooh, you said that out loud.
Ooh, he's a lovable idiot, huh?
Ooh, you said it out loud again.
That's why everyone fucking cries when they hear his music.
No one never does that.
Tell that to my fucking feet ever since they announced him.
I cried. I actually peed myself. I peed myself hard.
Okay.
I peed
go to dueling. Go dueling.
Yep.
That's as simple as that. He duels.
And if you're using Tasha's, you could change it on later when, of course, your DM gives you 2 Keyblades when you get to your ultimate form.
Will he be doing that, though?
Of course. That's when you...
Are you the guy that goes, do I get Keyblades like Sora?
Yeah. I mean, that's why I gotta ask, yeah. I'm like, if not, I'm gonna play another character.
Right?
Like, what am I shooting for, then? Like... What am I shooting for? Like,
it's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll be there's no real schedule for Dragon Coffee, guys. There's not. We kind of just are gonna do this and rock with this podcast whenever we want to, and whenever we feel like talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
And these nuts.
So if you guys are watching this on Twitch, if I decide to put this on Twitch, right? This is already going to be pre-recorded and put out there. So if you're chatting with me on Twitch or trying to talk to us, we're not going to be responding because it's literally going to be pre-recorded.
Is that how that works?
We do these live streams on YouTube, our YouTube channel called AC2 High, and this is our Dragon Coffee podcast. We might eventually move Dragon Coffee to its own separate channel, or I could put it on my channel. I don't know what I'm doing with Dragon Coffee yet. But for now, since I don't know what to do with it, the live stream is going to be on our live play channel where we play Dungeons and Dragons on our AC2 High channel, which is currently what's going on. Every Friday, we play in the Forgotten Realms. Currently going through the Out of the Abyss campaign.
Is that what we're doing?
Currently, right now.
Is that? Oh, that's
cool.
After
the Out of the Abyss campaign, we might be actually looking to do another custom homebrew campaign. Not exactly sure yet.
Huh?
No, I'm not sure yet. We're looking at Sky Orphans is still something I want to do, but like it's on a hiatus for a while.
Huh?
So until we're ready to get back into that and everybody is raring to go as far as Sky Orphans go, then it's going to be on a hiatus. Don't get me wrong. I feel like it will come back sooner rather than later, but not right this second. So in the meantime, we're looking to finish Out of the Abyss. We're finishing these campaign settings that we started and kind of going from there. So, thank you for tuning in to Dragon Coffee, our podcast where we talk about Dungeons and Dragons. So go ahead, sip that coffee, and ingest that dragon's heart into your soul.
Feel the warmth quivering through you like a roaring flame.
Let it burn! Catch you guys next time.
Cthulhu.